All right, welcome back, guys. We're about to determine the first player moving on from Group C here in Season 3 of the World Championship Series Europe Premier League. My name's Carl Aris alongside Apollo here with Mouse VortiX versus ESC ShoWTimE.
A series that I didn't think we'd really be seeing in the winners match here today. I truly thought that it would be VortiX and MVP, but that's not the case here, is it? As ShoWTimE performs a miracle, as he said on Twitter he needed to perform today, and he got that. But now can he do it again? Because if he doesn't beat VortiX, the likelihood of playing MVP again is extremely high.
That's true. And also here, our maps are Whirlwind, Derelict, and then if we need it, Belshire Vestige. So once again, our new maps disappearing at the beginning. So VortiX and ShoWTimE, they've probably played each other quite a bit on ladder. They haven't met each other in tournament play just yet, but they're probably going to know what each other's really up to.
Yeah, I think they're going to know each other's style kind of well, but it's all going to come down to how the series plays out. We know VortiX's style personally rather well as well, is that he plays a very, at least for the early stages, a non-evolution chamber-based play, unless he's changed it from season to season. Very focused on lots of units to defend any all-in or to pressure any greedy play. But I'm interested to see ShoWTimE's play. From what I've seen in a couple of replays, is he plays very similar to a lot of the Korean Protoss. He's very crisp with his play, pressure early on, lots of Stargate play, lots of Phoenix play, lots of Void Ray play.
He loves those Void Rays. All right, let's jump into game number 1 here, as we have spawning up to the top left-hand corner our blue Protoss, representing ESC Icybox and Germany. He is ShoWTimE. And up to the top right-hand corner, we have our red Zerg, representing Mousespots and Spain. He is VortiX.
I look at WCS Europe, and I just feel that all the players that are ranked really high, they have like a hit list name next to them, you know? Because Naniwa comes into WCS Season 3 as ranked 12, looking to keep in the top 16 to go to BlizzCon, crossed off the line. Then it's like, all right, TLO is listed very high. Let's see if he can get into the top 16 and move on. Crossed off. And then MVP's coming in, of course, ranked really high as well. So far, he's got a line halfway through his name. It's covering M and half a V.
It's not so good here. He needs to step it up and try and get it going. And, well, VortiX is a very formidable opponent, as is ShoWTimE. We've already seen that. So any player that MVP would have to go up against, if he's able to defeat No Name, nevertheless, we could see a bit of an upset. This is, it wouldn't be upset. It wouldn't be WCS Europe, to be honest, without some insane upsets.
Happens every day, every season. Something just goes against the grain, and it seems to be some big names that have been targeted so far this season. But ShoWTimE's opened up with a very defensive gateway expand here, with the gateway at the top and a bit of a wall off with the assimilator. If there was any early pulls, he's got a bit of a wall up there. But it looks like he will be playing just a regular play. But one difference is with his gateway expand, he's got double gases, which is the safer version and a later expansion version of the Naniwa style, one gateway, one gas. This means he'll be able to get sentries early, but get the mothership core early, and he can defend a lot of plays. There's even a pylon in there, right? In the wall, that if there was to be some kind of gas spawning pool play, even that there too, the cyber core, he can wall off with a single pylon and a single force field if there was to be anything absolutely absurd to be coming his way.
And VortiX behind this, he's already got his gas coming in just to make sure he can get that speed pretty quickly against anything that would be too crazy against him. And we'll see the Chrono Boost focus down on this Nexus. So he knows his opponents are a little bit more focused on that economy here from the very beginning, without actually spotting the Zealot being on the way. So
a Zealot should always be on the way, though. That's the early defense to protect the Nexus. Because the Nexus on the low ground, there's no protection apart from maybe a sentry, but that's not really protection. The Zealot is. So the Zealot's always there. And likewise, it could pressure a little bit too. We've seen a lot of Zealot and Mothership cores come together, and that's what we're going to see. The next two units to be built will be the Mothership core and the sentry right behind this to be able to maybe pressure himself, more importantly, to save energy on those two bad boys.
And that Warpgate starts actually here for ShoWTimE as well. So Warpgate here before the Stalker, or anything that he would like to start with the Sentry, of course. And, well, he's going to send the Zealot over to try and poke away. But I don't think anything's too much is going to happen here. The Queen's already there to try and defend. There's that sentry in production. And all is good in VortiX Town.
Yeah, I mean, VortiX right now is just set up, getting Zergling speed. It's a very good thing to get against someone that's going Gateway Expand, right? To be able to check out pylons, probes, to be able to deal with any harassment, which we actually could see from this game as well, as 2 gateways have come down from ShoWTimE when he could have very easily maybe gotten, instead of a second sentry, the Stargate earlier. Could have been a rowboat earlier. So with the gateways here, it may seem like you would want to put on a bit of pressure, but as we can see with what VortiX has, I don't think it would ever be successful.
Yeah, he's already got a few Zerglings out on the map, with 4 extra being added as well. So he's just going to hunt around everywhere to maybe kill off pylons, but also, more importantly, he wants to clear out this Zealot, man. He wants to be able to expand down to this location. Very important.
And now a Forge coming in too before any tech structures. So if he gets +1 attack, he could actually go for a very heavy gateway play. But we'll see what's in ShoWTimE's mind. What's his plan here to take on VortiX?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Again, I haven't seen too much of ShoWTimE's PVZ. Maybe once or twice in the EPS, but aside from that, not a whole lot. So learning along together. Very
heavy sentry count already. He's at 2 with 2 more on the way. That's 4 sentries before tech.
Wow.
Really high. So the likelihood of him being aggressive is super high here. I mean, unless he tries to expand off what he has now, but with extra gases coming in.
Yeah, that's a lot of gas he's going to have here. The 4 sentries are going to hold these Zerglings at bay. Easy peasy, no problemo. He sends a Hallucinated Phoenix out as well. But VortiX even saw that moving out. So VortiX with his layer going down. And no evolution chambers, of course.
I mean, VortiX is like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
I mean, right now, the Overlord inside the main base is trying to look for the tech. He's like, well, what is it and where is it? This is really weird play. There's a lot of sentries. They've got a lot of energy. So I'm pretty sure that VortiX is going to be like, what? What is he trying to do? And likewise, we can see that there are no evolution chambers coming down. He's spreading his creep. And we see the robotics facility coming in. But the robotics facility is very oddly timed here. And I think this will be a 3rd base, because how can he be aggressive with such a late tech structure?
Exactly.
I think he'll throw down the robotics bay here and just try to go to Colossus quite fast.
There's truly not much room for him to go for aggression, you're right. And I think that in the same time here, this might go, depending on if he wants to go for that 3rd base at a specific time. VortiX is at he's at a pretty nice drone count right now, so he's going to be building quite a few roaches if he wants to, just with mixing in a few drones here and there as well.
He's getting 5 roaches because he has no idea what his opponent's doing. He needs to kind of defend. He's trying to figure it out. He's sending a Zergling in, sending an Overseer. He's like, oh, wait, there's a Robo? And he's like, oh, you've gone Robo. I'll go Spire then, and throws down the Spire immediately, trying to play towards his opponent's weaknesses, which is the fact that he doesn't have a Stargate play. So I really like how VortiX is approaching this, and I think he's clicked that this, well, he has now, he's seen the 3rd.
Oh, and now, actually, ShoWTimE just barely skirted past that Spire without seeing it. So that's an annoying position for ShoWTimE to be in. He still needs a bit more of a thorough scout, but thankfully, because he got so many sentries early on, he has plenty of opportunities to throw more Hallucinated Phoenix.
This game may just end.
Because
the Mulus will not be spotted. So far, they haven't been spotted. And if they come out, there is no anti-air. There's another Hallucinated Phoenix going to cross. He wants to find out, too. He's like, where's the layer? I mean, where's the Hydra Den?
He will spot this if it continues on the current path, but
well, there's nothing to stop it, so surely he has to.
Yeah. It's going to be really difficult.
All right, does he?
He should see it. He should. Just there we go.
Yes, he sees it. He sees it. And now he will have to get rid of this. But at the same time, we do have some units coming in from VortiX. Good force fields.
Yeah, not too bad time warp as well. Just to slow everything down and make sure it doesn't breach this location. The 3rd is going to get up and running. But again, with this +1 weapon starting and 8 Mutalisks. I
haven't seen any anti-air yet.
No.
Like, since he's seen it, which we can see in his vision he has, there's nothing. Okay, Blink's coming in, which can kind of help. Stalker count's only at 3. He needs to start building a lot more Stalkers than this.
Oh, yeah.
He's got 3 and 7 sentries. Maybe he didn't quite click.
Yeah, maybe not.
But surely he has to know. He's still searching. He's seen the Spire completed this time. And I don't think he clicked the first time around. Double Stargate's only just now coming in.
Oh, look at this, the contamination on the Twilight Council as well here to try and delay it for as long as possible. VortiX playing a very, very nice game. Obviously, the Mutalisks have now been fully spotted in terms of their presence on the map. And throwing cannons down in desperation, he has to try and defend.
Yeah, he's going to lose a lot of probes because the Stargates are nowhere near complete. Blink is nowhere near complete. There's hardly any Stalkers. And this just was scouted way too late here by ShoWTimE. And VortiX is just going to cause havoc. And behind it, double evolution chamber. He can tech switch very easily. So he's not going to dedicate all his resources to Mulus, but in the meantime, he could do a lot of damage with what he has.
Yes, certainly could. He's just going to keep his opponent dancing around. Whoa, these two Immortals are even very, very vulnerable. He could focus down those. That's a big, big pickoff for him there. He gets one of them, has to retreat out.
Yeah, I mean, he could even be starting to take some fights to Stalkers that are out in the open here.
Yeah, there's really not that many. He's just exploiting the positioning as well, just killing off one Stalker. Not too bad. Phoenix are in production as well, but the Fleet Beacon's not done at all. Needs Anion Pulse Crystals for those Phoenix if he wants to be super effective.
And he's seen that his opponent has decided to go over to a lot of Stalkers here and the double Stargate. Double Stargate and Stalkers are terrible against Zerglings and Ultralisk, so he's decided to upgrade Zerglings here. So he's going to have quite a fierce army behind this, but in the meantime, he can still get a good couple of minutes of harassment.
Yeah, he certainly could do, and he's taking another base down to the south here to add on even more gas geysers. So once he's on 10 gas geysers, bringing in like 1,000 some gas each minute, that's so many Mutalisks that he's going to have, and I'm not quite sure how ShoWTimE is going to be able to deal with that.
Interesting, he's decided to add on Corruptors to help protect his Mutalisks a bit more against the Phoenixes. I thought he'd throw down the Infestation Pit and look to tech up rather fast, but he's going to really keep the Mutalisk attack going on for a long time in this game with Corruptors coming in, and he won't make a tech switch until 2-2 is done with his Zergling upgrades. Sure, he'll have a lot of Zerglings around, but he's not really going to focus on Zerglings until they're well upgraded. In the meantime, he's going to stick on Zergling Corruptor Mutalisk.
And just getting a Scroop Spread going in the middle of the map as well, quite nicely here. Still, Phoenix, Hallucinated Phoenix. ShoWTimE has been absolutely on point in terms of scouting out what's going on, aside from being unable to spot the Spire at the most opportune time. But he's really trying to keep an eye on absolutely everything else. And the Anion Pulse Crystals is on the way, so he could buy time. But
this fight's going to be so scary, man. These upgraded Lings. Good force fields, though. Really good force fields.
Yeah, very nice. Actually trapping out a lot of that army on the ground. In fact, the majority of it, to the point where now he can try and combat the air. Completely separated. Still separating out a lot of that. Not doing too badly, but VortiX just has too much.
Too many units here. Just annihilating everything. A great hit there by VortiX when 1-1 is completed for Zerglings. Just smashed through his opponent. He couldn't hold on. And just by looking at the numbers and looking at the game, ShoWTimE, upon not seeing the Mutalisks early enough, is, well, as we can see, in a bunch of trouble.
Yep, and ShoWTimE will look back on this game and just say, you know, what could I have changed? The answer is, I just didn't see the Spire, really. That is all he can really take away from this game. There you go, GG. VortiX takes on the first win. And now he's one game away from advancing onto the round of 16 where he normally is.
Yeah, I mean, just like Season 2, in the round of 32 and the round of 16, went through in first place with 2-0 each time, and is continuing to do so today so far, and is looking absolutely fantastic. It's looking great, looked absolutely amazing against No Name, and looked just as sharp against ShoWTimE too.
Yep. All right, well, game number 2 is going to be on the way in a second here, and it will indeed be on Derelict. And this is going to be a hard map for ShoWTimE. Although that being said, if I think back to the games I've seen of him in the EPS, he's not done too badly on this map. So anything could happen.
Anything can happen. Well, let's see if he can pull it out the bag. He was able to beat MVP. Let's see if he can beat VortiX, because all it really needed in that game, with an earlier scout of the Spire, he would have been able to throw down the Stargates earlier, therefore having Phoenixes out earlier, and wouldn't have lost probes, wouldn't have been ragged around the map a little bit, and wouldn't have been so on the back foot defending to allow VortiX to get so many units, such a good economy behind it with all these bases. Well, going into this next game, I'm pretty sure he's going to have eagle eyes looking out for a Spire or anything tricky coming from his opponent.
Too true. But VortiX is one to always mess with his opponents. We've seen him in the past, even proxy structures over the other sides of the map, so with creep spread from that layer, from the Overlords. So anything can come out from VortiX. He could go for something very aggressive as well. He could go back to the old style of going very late for the Evolution Chamber to just really ramp up the pressure with a lot of roaches.
Yeah.
Anything's on the cards.
We'll see what's going to happen, because if he doesn't win this game, he will fall down to the the final match, and would play the winner of the losers match, which is between No Name and MVP, which will be coming up straight after this series of Terran versus Terran. And I'm sure a lot of people would like to see MVP move through, and maybe some Russians watching would like to see No Name beat out MVP. He's already lost to one player today. Could lose to a second unknown victim.
Could do. All right, so Derelict Watcher is our map as we load up for our second game here, guys. Hope you're enjoying WCS Europe. I know we certainly are. It's always fun here in Cologne from our studios. All right, let's jump into game number 2, as we have now. Spawning down to the bottom left-hand corner here as our blue Protoss, representing Germany and ESC Icy Box. He is ShoWTimE. And up to the top, we have our red Zerg. One game away from advancing on to the round of 16. He is Mao's VortiX.
And of course, we just like to extend our thanks to Roccat, who are watching right now, for the support of the WCS Europe scene here. We seem to be kicking ass. So thanks to you guys for jumping on board, supporting us here. And we'll continue to do our best, as things are only going to get better and better here in the WCS Europe Premier League. They
certainly are. It's going to be a good, fun time. We always have fun here at WCS Europe throughout the year. It's been an absolute pleasure to cast. We've met a lot of cool people during the live shows as well. And it's been very, very cool.
Very, very cool. Always fun to hang out doing the WCS every day. 3 days a week this week, 3 days a week next week, and then the week after, there'll be 2 days. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Yes.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Tuesday, Wednesday. And then the week after that, round of 16.
Oh, yeah. We like the round of 16. And tomorrow we have 1 day off. And then on the weekend, we have some Intel Extreme Masters New York Korean qualifiers going on. So StarCraft every day, all day, seems.
That's right. Lots of StarCraft on all the time. And some of the best StarCraft to watch as well. Lots of fun, lots of entertainment to be had. So we do now start to have this game unwrapping itself a little bit, taking pieces of clothes off, one piece at a time, as we have the spawning pool first for VortiX into Hatchery, which is just a regular setup from him. No gas, though, yet. I wonder if he's going to wait until he sees what his opponent's doing, because he doesn't know at all. And his opponent, he's just going to throw it down anyway.
Yeah.
But ShoWTimE's opened up exactly the same. I do like his build, though. It's very safe. Very safe.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It harks back to, well, slightly harks back to very old builds of just kind of constructing that wall off. But this is more just a preemptive style of the wall off, just to make sure that nothing crazy is going on, which is fine here for ShoWTimE. And VortiX, meanwhile, there's not really too much opportunity for him to fully pressure this out. So ShoWTimE's going to get an alright scout off and see what he needs to see.
And, I mean, this is just a super normal opening from both sides of this this game here. I'm interested to see what VortiX will do when it comes to his unit composition and strategy for this game, because his play was a little bit weird because it was reactionary, more so than just straight up, I'm going to do this. He scouted his opponent going for the robotics facility, looking towards Robotech with a third base, and said, all right, do you know what's really good against you? Mutalisks.
Mutas.
And they work great.
They do. They certainly do. And that's something that makes VortiX more of the kind of full package than, you know, other players, because he's able to not only go for his own path if he wants to, and if he sees that vulnerability, he's going to exploit it. It's a good race to play for that kind of thing.
That's right. And, well, as many daddies at home and many mummies that may be watching, probably a little bit less of you, school has started again.
Oh, has it?
Today. Well, at least in England today. I'm sure Spain is probably very similar. I mean, all European countries are roughly the same. School has started, so VortiX is back in school now. So he's basically, when it comes to practice time, at his peak. He's like hit his peak. Because everything from now is going to go downhill because he needs to focus on his studies. So right now, and it kind of shows in his play. He's playing some bloody fantastic StarCraft today.
Yeah, he certainly is. Separates those Zerglings up as well, just so they don't die off, and gets a full scout here with these two Zerglings, so knows exactly what his opponent's up to, throws down their third in kind, knows that he's very safe to do so, and even takes the second gas at his natural, just so he can continue to ramp it up.
Yeah, ramp it up probably towards Roaches. Has he seen the 3 gateways coming down? If there was any more to be added on, he can very easily defend against any Zealot pressure with Roaches, which is a kind of a problem that Zergs have been encountering. We saw Tilo lose to it twice in a row yesterday. And here is the pylon out there, 3 Zealots getting warped in, but we already have a bunch of Zerglings coming. The one thing that ShoWTimE's trying to go for is he opened up exactly the same last time, but didn't do the pressure.
Yeah.
And he's opened up the same this time, but he is doing it. So that's what he's hoping can work out well for him if it doesn't get spotted. But well, look at that. Yep. Spotted.
He sees exactly what's going on now. Thankfully, there is that reinforcing pylon on the high ground behind this, and he is probably going to save this pylon for a little while, but those Zerglings looking to just flex their muscles out of range of these guys is buying a ton of time for them Roaches.
Yeah, Roaches are going to come out in numbers. ShoWTimE is aiming for the third. If he can kill the third, perfect. But with 6 Roaches on the way and probably more to follow, I'm not sure he can get to it.
Yeah.
It's a lot of units VortiX has, and his Overlord production's been brilliant. He keeps on building them as he knows that Roaches take up a lot of supply. He wouldn't want to get supply capped.
And they're just going to keep coming out here. These Roaches, they're just chilling out back at home, knowing that they can do the damage they need to. Even picked off the probe there. So
and he goes and picks off the probes and sees it's only still 6 Zealots, not 9.
Yeah.
They're not increasing, so he started drone production again.
Oh, wow.
And scouting at the same time. Seeing the follow-up, he's like,
jeez,
I am on top of things. Because he is. He's playing it really well.
He is playing a phenomenal day of StarCraft thus far as VortiX, and just really bringing it to his opponents so well. And double evolution chamber behind this as well. A little bit of a mix-up here for VortiX, and it's going to work wonders because his opponent can't do anything about it.
Yeah, this is just a really, really good play from VortiX. Really good play. Just the right amount of units. Didn't take any extra pressure. He's seen the robotics facility coming down. And now he's just going to go for double upgrades and probably melee upgrades here. Upon seeing the robotics facility, he knows that Immortals could be made here. Why would you want to build too many Roaches, too many Hydras, when Immortals are great against those with force fields? He's going to build a lot of Zerglings, even the Infestation Pit. We probably could see his favorite unit come out today.
Oh, we certainly could.
Ultralisk.
He loves it. He does, he does. Actually, well, he loves his Roaches, the little cucarachas as well, but you're right. Seeing the Ultralisks from VortiX, he was one of those Zerg players that when everyone was like, Ultralisks are rubbish, he was still making them, man. They were fun to watch.
Yeah, so I wonder if I think he's going to just shoot up straight to Hive. No, he's got Pathogen Glands coming in. I thought he'd shoot to Hive here for Vipers or Ultralisk really early on, but he's decided to go for Pathogen Glands. Great again here. I mean, he knows exactly what's going on. He sees his opponent looking to take a third here, and he really is looking to take a third. He wants to take it, but he is very delayed because of that creep. Things are just really working out here for VortiX. I know I'm focusing very much so on VortiX, but I just can't stop appreciating such perfect play from him today.
And there's not a whole lot going on from ShoWTimE's side of things. We're just looking for the power struggle from him between those two. Oh, wait a minute. He's moving out.
Yeah, but this is more of a fake out. Yeah. I mean, he's got recall. He wants to throw down the Nexus. He's just trying to, put in a pretty pressure. He just wants to sit back and just take a third. He can go out, kill a couple of creep tumors maybe if he's got an observer with this army, which he does not actually, so he cannot kill creep tumors. Maybe he can pick off a couple of stragglers, but if he gets fungled...
That could be annoying.
Well, I guess he can always recall out, but if somehow the Mothership cores to die...
Yeah, 6 Infestors on the way. They could lock things down, but again, the recall is there available, as you rightly pointed out. So, wait a minute. He could sit outside that.
Oh, and no more force fields on this ramp. Kill the third, then get out?
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
ShoWTimE. This is the perfect move for him. The absolutely perfect move.
And this is going to push VortiX into a counterattack here for sure.
Yeah, Fungle's a bit of that army, but recalls out. Does not save one of the Immortals, but...
But now what VortiX needs to do, it is a big loss, but it's also not as big as you think, because there's a 4th base at the top, and he can easily mine from that too and rebuild this one. But he should look to aim to kill the third of his opponent. Yeah. And if he does that, it's kind of equalized.
It all depends on how well ShoWTimE can control the space. With that engagement, he wasted, what, like 8 force fields? Well, not necessarily wasted, but now trying to hold off this area without force fields is treacherous for a Protoss.
So let's see. VortiX may be able to win the game here. With Infestors, a lot of Zerglings with 1 upgrades here.
And does throw force fields down a little bit haphazardly, trying to choke this area a little bit. But Infested Terrans, as well as some good fungals, lock a lot of this down. That's actually a lot of roaches. I think he's just going to power straight on through.
Yeah, even losing his third. A recall from out in the open back to his natural there. The third's now open. And behind this, as mentioned, the base is getting rebuilt. The Hive's on the way. You'd think, right? Killing that base is pretty good, but losing an Immortal just before he recalled, now losing all his units out in the open. He pushed VortiX into this counterattack. It was always going to happen, this counterattack.
This is just, you anger the Spanish bull, you're going to get the horns, my friend. And these roaches just piling on forwards, having no worries at all. VortiX decided, yeah, he got a kick in the balls, and he's going to go for it.
Yeah, I mean, he hurt his opponent's income. ShoWTimE hurt VortiX's income, but the thing is VortiX already had so much out in time because he played the early game so well. When it came to the pressure of ShoWTimE, he droned it at the perfect time. It was beautiful, the opening by VortiX, which meant that the damage to the third didn't really mean anything because he was set up so nicely to do this counterattack. And now ShoWTimE is stuck on 2 bases, and I'm having deja vu of TLO versus Sase yesterday.
Yeah, it's pretty hard here for ShoWTimE. He's going to be locked in for quite a while. Although, that being said, he has gone back, just trying to... Oh, look, it's the Ultralisk Cavern. Those are those bull's horns that we were talking about.
Yeah, so right now that VortiX is saying, all right, I've killed his third. You can take it if you want to. Because right now, my 2-2 is about to complete. I'm on 75 drones across 4 bases. My Ultralisk Cavern is about to complete too. And right now is a position that every Zerg player likes to be in. You know you're winning. You can just go and end it now and go home and, well, technically he's already at home, but go do something else, go play another game, go tease his brother or play tennis or play catch or...
Tease his brother.
I don't know what he's going to do, but, I mean, for me, I like to sit back right now and I'm like, I'm going to build Ultralisk, I'm going to crush him with Ultralisk, he's going to die instantly, because the satisfaction of coming in, just steamrolling, is very, very nice. Dude,
it's so much fun when I'm like at this point. I have said it many times, I delay games so I can build Ultralisks with the skin, but unfortunately, skins are banned in WCS Europe, so he can't have that, but he can still have his cool plain original Ultralisks.
Yeah, and he just wants to come in with Ultralisks and then go crush.
Yep.
I am VortiX, this is the Premier League, and I'm first place, and I'm going to the round of 16, and I'm going to Germany in a couple weeks' time.
Yeah.
And he's waiting. Perfect.
He is. He's getting them. Here's the Ultralisks, as you said. He's just waiting to march on up and say, get out. As, well, unfortunately, I don't really think ShoWTimE's going to be able to hold this off.
No, he's not. He actually can't. I mean, he's got a great spread of units here. The upgrades are fantastic here for VortiX. The bank as well. The Spire coming in for a tech switch after. And this is VortiX play, and he's like, all right, I've got my army. It's time to go.
And the Ultralisks move on forwards here. These 2 Immortals going to have the work cut out for them if they can actually try and deal with this. And even Force Fields aren't going to be able to help him. Infested Terrans as well. Not the best of units since they were a bit nerfed a long time ago. But now VortiX, it doesn't really matter. He has so much firepower.
Satisfaction at its finest for VortiX right now.
Nom, 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 nom. He's getting all of the Stalkers at the back, and it could even lock them down. There you go. Well played, ladies and gentlemen. And VortiX advances on to the round of 16, showing phenomenal gameplay throughout the day.
Very easily moving on to the round of 16. Just 2-0, very fast in his first series. 2-0, very fast in his second series. Excellent play from VortiX, and something to be proud of if you're a Spanish fan, if you're a VortiX fan, if you're a Zerg fan, because that really was just a display of excellent Zerg.
It was indeed very, very impressive. So congratulations to VortiX advancing onto the round of 16. Now we have to determine our second place player advancing onto the round of 16, as MVP and No Name will face off in that lower. And then the winner of that will play against ShoWTimE to see who advances on.
That's right. That's right. And that should be an interesting series, because MVP playing from Korea is at a risk of going out in the round of 32 now. He needs to buckle down, and if he can beat No Name, he'd go in the rematch against ShoWTimE in the final game of the evening.
All right, guys. So we'll come after the commercial break. We shall have an interview with the winner, I believe, Mr. Mao's VortiX. Don't go anywhere.